What's up, everybody? Hey, we got a great episode today. We got a man, and I say man because if you took Sam Elliott's DNA and crossed it with Chuck Norris, you'd still get a little biatch compared to this guy. This is Mark Newman. This is also Blake's stepfather. 27 years in the military. Just a man. Did I say he's a man? What a guy. A lot of life experiences. He's into some pretty fun stuff. I can't wait for you guys to check this out. Here we go. How old was he when you came into his life?
16.
16.
Mm-hmm.
And I was as close as you can get to a basement dwelling little creature.
You said he in his own words, he says he was a gremlin with
cool.
atrophy of the legs because he just wasn't moving.
No, he wasn't doing anything. He was living in the room. And
not to shit on you first round. I'm excited. I'm just excited. I've heard a lot about you and
no, he so the first thing the people around him didn't realize how smart he was. And so he was so smart, he convinced everybody that he wasn't smart.
Oh.
Yeah, he convinced everybody he was, and so when I met him, it was good enough to get a D.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a D, and it's like, so I sit there and I talked to him, and I watched him play computer games, and I went, this kid's not dumb.
Right.
You know, to play the computer games as well as he's done, he must be decent in math, and he can read well, and it's like, all I could see is how fast he could read a book. It's like, this kid's not dumb.
Right.
So I went and talked to his mom and his grandma and said, no, I don't buy it. He's not dumb. And then the thing that cracked me up the most was he was taking on online high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Which we've both agreed is a joke.
Yeah. Well, he was showing me how he was getting by on online high school. It was a clever way of cheating. And I chuckled to myself, and it's like, he was showing me, he was like, hey, I had this computer here. I'd do this stuff here, and it'd give me the answer, and I'd put it over on that computer there.
Control find?
Pretty much.
Yeah. I was like, I was chuckling to myself. It's like, well, that's pretty smart how he's doing it. Went back to his mom, and it's like his grandma and said, he definitely has a brain up there. We just need to exercise it. Like, what do you mean? And I explained to them. They were all shocked. Our little Blakester is cheating? It's like, well, you can get upset about that. But I like to think of it, he's using his head.
Yeah.
You know, it's like he's showing intelligence, how to get around a problem.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, so I knew Blake just needed some good foundation. It's like, no, we need to put you in high school. We need to put you with the rest of the kids. And this whole getting a D thing, no, I don't buy it.
Yeah, he said you walked in and just wasn't having it.
Nope. It's like, all right. So he was married to his mom, so he needed some adjustments. And
Real quick, how long was your dad out of the picture before?
2 years, I think.
3 years.
It was like 14, I think, when...
Full-on divorce or just split?
Full-on divorce.
Oh, okay. And then 3 years later?
Yeah, when did she get divorced when you were 12?
I thought it was 14,
14,
but...
somewhere around there.
Maybe it was that I moved into her house at 14.
Yeah.
It was either 2 years or 4 years.
Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you come in.
Yeah, so I come in and it's like, he's a good kid. You know, he's a pain in the ass a little bit, doesn't want to listen, but so, all right. So I know where I grew up would be a good spot for him to gain some knowledge and some perspective of life.
Which is here, right? In Buckeye.
I moved him to Buckeye. And it's like, I needed to get him out of that room because that was his sanctuary of nothingness. And it's like, so I walked in and said, you're moving to Buckeye, or onto the farm. I don't want to move to Buckeye.
Having such a good time right now.
And it's like, I don't think you get a choice in the matter. No, I'm not moving. It's like, well, all your stuff is moving, and you don't get to live in this house anymore. So guess what? I'm moving. Like, yep.
My legs don't work.
So, my legs worked. They were just really weak compared to what they should have been because I never moved.
And so he moves to Buckeye. Not very happy about the whole thing.
Negative. In fact, I got sick on the day I was supposed to move to Buckeye, and my mom thought I was faking just because I didn't want to move to Buckeye. And on the way there, we stopped at In-N-Out Burger, and she bought me a nice, delicious, not sponsored burger.
Yeah.
And I took one bite and just threw up immediately.
Oh.
So I think I worked myself into a sickness and just panic about moving to Buckeye. I was in the hospital for a bit.
Did you know what you were going to Buckeye to do?
No, I didn't know I was going to Buckeye to dig one hole very poorly for a summer.
Dude, he's told that trench story several times, and he says he's never even completed it.
No.
You need to go back just to finish
I'm sure
it.
they finished it with a backhoe as soon as I stopped working on it.
Well, so on his trench story, so he needed a summer project. This summer, it's like we all have a little project to do on the farm, and so I found a little project for them. Is they need to move a water line about 30 feet. So I was like, you get to dig the trench. What's that? Well, it's a hole, has sides, about that deep, goes over there. Why are we doing it? Because you're told to.
Yeah.
You don't need to know the why. You just need to get to digging on.
So I told you so.
And it's like, so he wasn't too happy about it when he went out there, and it was the most hilarious thing. So I'd watch him.
Walking in circles?
Yes. He would dig a scoop or two, throw it down, walk in 3 or 4 circles, look around. He didn't know I could just see him because I had a little spot.
Dude, I
was
thought you
watching.
were bullshitting this whole time.
Oh, no.
Negative.
I would start chuckling. It's like, okay, he can stand out there all day and, dig a little bit. His mom's getting all, what's he doing? He's figuring it out. What do you mean? He's figuring it out. He's like, it doesn't matter how many days it takes him, but that's his project.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's like, so I'd go out there and look. It's like, didn't get much done, have you? No? What are we going to do tomorrow? Well, I'm going to do these other things, but you're digging the hole.
Oh.
And you still got to go way over there. And so the next day he was out digging the hole. It's like, I'd go out there and look, and I'd check on him occasionally, and it's like, I'd look at my little hiding spot, watch him. It's like, he'd dig a couple, he'd look around, mess around a little bit, dig a couple more holes. Like, he wasn't getting.
Why were you doing that?
I don't even think that was like on purpose. It would just, I think what it was is I would dig a couple and then a couple shovelfuls, and then I would just get tired.
Oh, okay.
Well, because also in addition to digging, I was using a pickaxe to.
It's hot.
It's hot. It's summer in Arizona. I'm pickaxing in the earth.
The earth.
Yeah. I was taking a breather, but it was just weird that my breather was just do a lap around the hole a couple times. Did I ever finish that? Or was
Yes. So
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
The whole project got completed.
Okay.
So
By him.
I'll tell you how it was.
All right.
All right,
So his mom just couldn't handle this.
Uh-huh.
She was getting all wiggy out about he's not getting it done. It's like, he's fine.
Yeah.
She's wanting perfection.
Okay.
And I'm telling her, it's like, we're not going to get perfection.
Right.
This is not here to get perfection. This is here to start the indoctrination of him growing up, and taking responsibility and all those fun things that aren't very fun to do, but you got to do to grow up.
Work ethic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, and I remember going out there, why are we digging that hole? It's like, well, see, we have a water trough here, and we want to have a water trough over there, and we have to have a little, have the water go over there. So we're going to put a plastic pipe down, and then there'll be a little spigot over there, and we'll have a water trough over there. It's like, why do we have doing that? I just told you, because we want a water trough over there.
Panic.
It's like, so this went on for several weeks, and finally his mother broke, and she went out there.
Weeks?
Yeah, weeks. And his mother broke, and she went out there to help him, and it's like, this is not what I wanted. So I have a son who's a couple years younger. So I just told Maverick, his stepbrother, well, this needs to be finished up real fast now. We're past the point of no return. Mom got involved, so for all the best reasons, but it's not going to give the right outcome. So Maverick and I went out there and we finished in about an hour. All 4 of us got on. We were done in an hour. And so that's how the little story went. But it was funny. So my mom and dad are old farmers. They would look out and they'd scratch their head, and it's like they're not used to city boys.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like, what are you doing? It's like, he's learning. And it's like, oh, okay. But they weren't used to city boys. So there's like,
That farm's still active, right?
Yeah.
What do you guys grow out there?
Alfalfa, hay, and cattle.
And cattle?
Yeah, there's cattle out
That's crazy. What's that like?
there. What do you mean, what's it like?
Like, so I've never done anything like that. I've never been on a farm, never worked on a farm, never had to do any of that stuff. To manage, how many heads?
It's quite a bit smaller than it used to be. I think they have probably around 30 head out there.
Oh, okay.
It's a small farm.
I feel like that would be a 24-hour job.
Well,
That's what I mean is like, what's that like?
Well, it like anything else, you have to manage your time, and so my dad runs it. He's retired and he's been running it. That's his retirement job. And whenever he needs help, he'll get us to go, help him out. Me, not so much, but my brother helps him. My brother-in-law helps him out quite a bit.
Okay.
And so, because now I live in Tempe, I'm not living on a farm. So.
Mm-hmm.
But
is that who we saw
Probably. Yeah.
come out of the house when we were leaving? It was him and another guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and so when Blakester lived there, I was an active duty soldier, so I worked a lot. And so when I wasn't working, I was dealing with the boys, which was a very fun job for me.
Yeah.
Raising kids was fun.
I do not share that sentiment. That would have been awful. Maverick and I in the same house.
They're good kids.
I have fun time with my kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I was an asshole.
Well, yeah, so are my kids. You just train them not to be.
Yeah.
Like I see a lot of me and Trent.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Not so much your feral child, but
No. Yeah.
Well, you got to remember, kids aren't trained adults.
No.
They're learning. So
Right.
So if they're having attributes you don't like, you train them away from it.
Yeah.
Like just like you were stuck in your room and you wouldn't leave it. So what we do, we took the room away from you.
And what could you do?
Yeah, you had to learn new skills.
you
and
had
did.
me dig a hole to build character.
Well, the most interesting thing about it, so we signed him up for high school, and like I said,
yeah,
when he was
you had to go in person, huh?
yeah, he was okay for him to get D's. I just informed him, like, I don't want to see anything less than a B here.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you mean? That's the household rule. You get less than a B and you're in trouble.
I wish I had that.
And it's like, what do you mean by in trouble? Any nasty thing I can think of,
Probably
maybe-
another hole somewhere.
Yeah, another hole digging. I'm sure there's lots of digging in the near future, or moving cinder blocks or something like that.
Yeah.
Or hay bales, which are worse than cinder blocks because the twine digs into your hand even if you're
Oh,
wearing
yeah.
gloves.
And by then I knew he was a smart boy. You know what he did? Almost straight A's. I think he got 1 B, all the rest A's, like 5 A's, 1 B. I think 1 B all year. It's like, yeah, that's what I thought.
Smartest dude I know.
Yeah, he's smart, really smart.
Smartest guy I know.
Yeah, he was so smart. He tricked everybody.
That's why I'm glad he's on my team.
Yeah.
A little evil genius.
Yeah, he thought. Then he thought the fun was over 1 year on the farm. It's like, well, what are you gonna do now? I'll move back to Tipley. He's like, no.
Move back where?
Move back to Tempe to my mom's house.
No, you're not going back to the room.
You're never living there again. Is basically unless you inherit the house years down the line, you're not living there again.
Yeah, that's not a good spot for you. And so what are we going to do? It's like, well, college is easy. So you're going to go to college. Okay, I'll go to college. It's like, well, I'll tell you what, this is how it is. When it comes to college, and I told both boys this, you guys, you can go to any college you want to. That's your plan. If I have to pay for it, it's my plan.
Okay.
And so what do you mean? Well, I'm paying for community college for the first 2 years.
Yeah.
To see how well you'll do. And so no big school until
So you earn it.
you earn it. Unless you have your own funding source, then you get to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So if you go get all these scholarships and whatnot, well then yeah, we're on it. But if you don't, you're under my plan, and my plan is the local community college.
Okay.
And so Blake there, he went to local community college. Again, got all straight A's and 1 B.
And that 1B was German, which was tragic.
Has helped tremendously.
Well, it was the second semester of German. In the first semester, I guess we ended like 8 weeks behind. We were just massively behind. We only did like half the coursework, and then they fired that teacher, and they brought a new one in, and she just came in speaking German, and all of us who were left were like, "What's happening?" And she figured out that we didn't know German, and then she just said, "That's not my problem."
And continued to speak German.
Yeah, because she was teaching the second semester's
Oh,
curriculum.
sure, I get it.
Her job to teach 1.5 semesters.
So during all that time, you never tried to get him into sports?
I did, but he was resistant. So when he went to high school, I told him, all right, this is how it's going to work. You're going to get into a sport, a club, or something.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you don't, I will pick one for you.
Okay.
Okay, and it will be wrestling.
Oh yeah,
He
dude.
was like, I don't want to wrestle. I was like, so?
Some catch wrestling.
And so it's like,
I don't want to wear a leotard.
so he
I
so
do.
he picked something really cool. He got in a really cool club, and
What was it?
what was that traveling club you were in?
Yeah, it's the architecture and the cooking classes were kind of joined for a travel abroad project.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I went to Germany.
Oh, gotcha.
Mhm.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I can't see any kid going to high school and not participating, and so that's what I told him. You're going to participate in something.
Yeah.
Pick it yourself, or I'll pick it for you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, you know they'll pick something, but you got to give them a little push.
Sure.
He got his little push. I thought he made an outstanding pick, and then he got his trip to Germany, and I was like, wow, that's
Free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Free?
I had to do some fundraising for it, but it was free for me.
Wow. You wish you would have done wrestling at all?
Yeah, but, well, maybe not wrestling. I wish I would have done football.
Football would have been cool.
I wish
Rugby would have been cool.
I personally that I had never needed to move to the farm, and I would have done football in Tempe at like Corona or something,
Oh yeah.
because that would have absolutely been. I mean, just based on the size of me and everyone else who went to Corona del Sol, I would have been the best.
Yeah. Full ride scholarship your
Yeah.
first year.
Yeah.
Walk on. Yeah.
But Blake's just a product of society. If you're not raised with these opportunities, you needed a man to push him in the right direction.
Yeah.
I learned from the farm. This is my mother's saying is that I could raise a boy up to about 12,
Okay.
maybe 14, but it needs a man after that.
Yeah.
And so she just told my dad, like, I think we're about 12 to 14 years old. They're yours. You take care of them. I'll keep doing my stuff. But they did a little handoff.
Right.
Who was the primary parent? And really, if it wasn't for my dad keeping me in line, I may not have turned out very well.
I didn't have a dad.
Yeah.
I didn't have a dad growing up. I had a grandfather.
You had a male influence.
Oh yeah. And I always say I'm my grandfather's son. And he was in Vietnam. He was in the Army. So he's got that way of thinking, that way of, he grew up in Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
So he grew up on the farms. He did all that stuff. And he tried to instill as much of that as me as I could. But my dad, I grew up in Santa Ana, California, which was nothing but gang members and drugs. And so I did all that stuff rather than paying attention to, because nobody could stop me.
Mm-hmm.
I was already 14, but by then I was already so heavy in this side of life that nobody could talk any sense into me. If I did my homework, I got A's, but it was lame to do your homework. So I'd rather sell drugs and make money. So that's why this dynamic right here, I think that's super cool, because I never had anybody kick my ass and put me up in the farm telling me to do something good for myself. Nobody cared. Nobody pushed me to do nothing.
Yeah. And when it was happening, everyone around me told me, "Oh, you'll thank them when you're older." And I thought they meant when I'm like 45, I'd thank them.
I just thanked them a couple weeks ago.
I didn't realize they'd mean like you're gonna be 22 and be like, "Oh, shit, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks for making me not be a
Right.
freaking cave creature anymore."
Well, he was a good kid. He just needed needed mentoring and motivation.
Yeah.
And so he was not a happy camper. And it came down to a test of wills. And as a parent, you have to win that test every time.
Sure.
And it's like, well, I'm not losing. We're going to do it this way. He can be a pain in the ass when he wants to be.
What was the relationship like between you and Maverick?
So I was a single dad with Maverick for a long time.
Uh-huh.
And I always got along. We got along pretty well.
Did you guys get along?
No,
Not really.
Definitely not when we lived together. But then again, neither of us were very mature at that point in time.
Did you guys ever knuckle up?
No.
Oh, no?
He would have beat my ass.
Would he?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. He's little. Well, not little, but compared to me, he's littler.
Yeah.
Medium sized.
He's
Okay.
a medium-sized person, but, for me, everyone's little.
Yeah.
But he's very active, and he was pretty good at wrestling. He would have kicked my ass.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he's a good wrestler. And so what happens there between the boys? Remember, they each had their own parent,
Right.
kind of isolated to themselves, and they had to learn that sharing thing, and they never had a sibling.
Two only childs.
And so,
Okay.
Only
and so
children.
siblings fight enough as it is.
And well, you're 14 when you meet?
He's 14 and Blake's 16.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, and it's like,
You guys are already coming into your own. You're already trying to. Yeah, I got you.
right. And so, you know, you bring Katrina and Blake into with Maverick and myself, and it's like there's a little friction, you know. And it's like I expect it, but I'm the dad, so you know, I'll be the heavy and keep it in a low roar. You know, and so the boys do dumb things and get in trouble for it, and you know, you gotta when they do something dumb, they gotta pay the piper, and they pay the piper when they do something dumb, and but now they're both good solid men. So
Yeah. What does he do?
Maverick's in the Army.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in Germany in the Army. He's been there in the Army for a little over 3 years.
Followed the footsteps, huh?
Yep. So he's doing real well.
How long were you in the Army?
Almost 27 years.
Holy shit.
So
Holy shit.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
That
of time.
doesn't even. That's 2 years less than I've been alive.
yep. And so
It's 1 year more than I've been alive.
That's crazy.
and if they'd asked me, I like the military. It's a great adventure, and I'd go in again if I had to start all over again. I'd go right back in.
Yeah, my grandfather says it's great. It's I mean he was in Vietnam, he saw combat, he did that, but he's saying as far as life structure and what comes after, they set you up. He says it teaches you something.
Yeah, and to be, you know, if you go in the military with the right attitude, like I want to be here and I want to learn, being successful I don't think is that difficult. You know, people that don't have the right attitude, they don't really want to be there, and so they fight it, and they're not successful.
How old were you when you went in?
I was older. I was 29.
Oh, okay.
So I'd already went to college and had a college degree and had a career, but I'd always wanted to be in the military. And when I went to get in, that's when they cut the military in half.
What do you mean?
They had the great drawdown in the early 90s.
Okay.
You know, where, you know, we had the, you know, when the Russians fell and all that stuff. So, you know, we slashed the military in about half. Well, they didn't need any Army officers then.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to get in, and then I had to join the National Guard just to get in because they had plentiful ranks.
See, he was drafted.
Yeah.
He had no choice.
Yeah, and so I enlisted, and then my goal was I already had a college degree. I was like, I wanted to be an officer, so I had to impress them. Like, you know, I knew what I was doing, and I was one of their better guys, and so I could get a coveted chance to go to OCS. So I got that and went to OCS. And
Now, what is that? What do you go in at? Like, what's the ranking system? If it's a tier, what's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
so normally you go in if you're an enlisted officer or enlisted person, you're going as a private,
Okay.
and you know.
So that's ground level.
That's ground level. They have E1, 2, and 3. That's private. And then the E4 is a specialist.
Okay.
Or a corporal if you're an NCO. And then E5 is a sergeant and then goes on all the way up to E9. And so, as you go up, you get more responsibility and you have more skills, so you get to do more things, you know. So when you're first in, you don't have much responsibility, but you don't have much skills.
Right.
But as you go up, your responsibility and your skills go up. Your more things happen for you. So the longer you're in, the better it is.
Yeah.
That's why it cracks me up. Is like somebody will just finally make sergeant. It's like, oh, I'm getting out. And it's like, well, you're finally to a spot where there's responsibility. You can use your skills, you know. And it's like, you sure you want to get out?
So what did you retire at?
I was a major.
A major.
Yeah.
And how high up is that?
It's a field grade. Beginning of a field grade officer. So the easiest way to say it, there's not that many majors. There's higher ranks, but as you go, there's just less and less and less. And so
when I say I don't know anything, I'm talking about like, okay, so you said you go in as a private.
Mhm.
To me, that'd be a kindergartner.
right.
What is a senior in high school?
Probably an NCO, you know, like it's E7 NCO if you want to make it that way. So I don't even know if that's a good equation.
Does that not work out?
No.
Oh, okay.
So think about this is like, so your sergeants, they're managers and leaders of anywhere from, you know, 5 to 30 men.
Okay.
You know, and at the different rates of sergeants, you have more men. And then and they're normally an NCO is a specialist in whatever trade they're doing.
All right.
You know, it's like if I'm a commo guy, I'm really good with radios and computers and that good stuff. So I'm an expert in that stuff. You know, and so That's not how you build a unit. Is you have a lot of sergeants that are experts, and then when you have the officers, they're more of generalists.
So it's like a ranking system inside of a ranking system then.
And
Okay.
And so when I was an officer, so I started enlisted and I became an officer, and so most of the officers anybody runs into are lieutenants and captains.
All right.
You know, that's you'll talk to, and it's always that. And so field grade officers are a little above that, and there's not as many. So you have like the easiest way for if you have a battalion of 800 guys, you have 3 field grade officers, 2 majors, and a lieutenant colonel.
Yeah.
So not a whole lot.
27 years. And so after you retired, what did you come out and do?
I just retired, and with the COVID, I've not really been doing much.
April, right?
Oh,
Yeah. So,
just recent.
yeah. So I retired early last year. So.
Where were you stationed at? Here?
last year.
So what I did is I was a active guard and reservist, so I worked for the Arizona National Guard.
Oh, okay.
And so they have about 10% of the force works full time for them, or active duty soldiers.
Okay.
And your job is to maintain the force and get everything ready for everybody to be trained. So one of your big job is you're a trainer. You know, you get the weekend what they call it, so the weekend warriors, the drilling guys. They come in. Well, somebody has to set up all the training for them.
Okay.
Somebody has to do all the paperwork for them. Somebody has to do all the logistics for them. You know, set up all the chow. So that's what that 10% of the force does.
Okay.
And it's a lot of work, you know, and the better you are, the easier it is, you know, so somebody has to set all that up, and that's what that force does, to keep those reservists trained up.
How long did you do that for?
Off and on most all my career. So
Oh, okay.
you know, so when you're working as an AGR, your job is always related to that in some fashion.
Gotcha.
You know, so one way or another, you're always related into helping all the other guys ready to get trained.
Being in the military, where'd that take you in the world? Where have you seen?
Well, the most interesting thing is I went to war in Iraq. You know, so I did my time.
Holy shit, dude!
I went to war. In Iraq.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And then I was a foreign affairs officer, and I went to Kazakhstan 38 times.
Wait. What? What did you just say to me?
I went to Kazakhstan 38 times.
Okay. All right. Let me just fucking put that piece down. Go ahead.
So when I married Blake's mom, that was a job I was going back and forth to Kazakhstan.
Yeah, didn't you have Kazakhstan? Yeah, the Kazakhstan diplomats coming over and just kind of.
Yeah, I had invited them over the house and for a barbecue and stuff like that. So what I was doing is
What?
Did you not? Kazakhstan's a real country.
Yeah.
I thought it was okay.
No, it's the ninth.
You know what I thought it was?
Yeah.
What's that movie?
Borat.
Borat. So that's real.
Kazakhstan's a real country.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. And so,
I thought you were telling me that you've been to like Gotham City. Like I didn't know this was a real place.
It's a real place.
Okay.
It's
They were
almost,
pretty pissed off at the movie Borat. For,
How stupid do I look? That's fine. Go ahead.
it's almost on the other side of the earth.
Okay.
12 time zones over, so it's basically on the other side of the globe for us.
Wow.
Yeah, it takes on average, like, if you're just 32 hours to get there. Yes, I made that flight many times. It's like, ugh.
And what were you doing over there?
Setting up exchanges.
Okay.
So we would exchange different ideas with them on a lot of mostly disaster management exchanges. So I'd take groups of our like disaster management specialists, firefighters, our state disaster over there, and they would interact with theirs and exchange ideas.
Just like training?
Training, exchanging ideas, kind of the same, you know.
Like, what do you guys do over here versus what we
Right.
do over here, and how can we? Okay.
And the reason we were doing that is you're building up positive relationships between the countries.
All right.
So if our non-diplomatic people know each other, the theory is we'll get along better as countries as these people get older and in higher level positions. They'll have positive experiences with people from Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan will have positive experience with people from America, and because they'll know people, and you know, and as these people increase in their responsibilities, they'll have those positive views of our country.
What were you doing when you were in Iraq? Same thing?
No,
You were in combat.
I was at a headquarters unit. So,
Okay.
So I had an interesting job. I was basically the sheriff of a base.
Okay.
You know, so I ran the security of the whole base, 12 hours a day, and my other buddy.
Hey, you want to be my stepdad too, or I'll go dig a couple holes right now.
So my best friend in the Army, he had the other 12 hours, so I'd be on. And it was funny thing is my buddy John is, so we'd hang out twice a day together when we did our shift change.
Yeah.
And so we'd hang out about 2 hours on each other's shift, and then we'd go to bed, and then wake up. And
Come
then,
back and do it again.
yeah, so twice a day we'd hang out with each other like 2 hours a day, BSing and getting ready for, hey, anything happened. But so we ran the security on the base, KROS.
That's the John I lived with.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, a huge puzzle piece just fell into place.
Yeah, and so that that's what it wasn't exciting. I did my job, and people, did you shoot anybody? It's like, no, I didn't shoot anybody. I pulled my pistol out on a couple guys, and that's about it.
Do you find that disrespectful when people ask, have you ever shot anybody or killed anybody?
No, they're just curious.
That's how I feel.
They're just curious.
They genuinely don't know.
Yeah. So, no, I had one of my cousins was killed in combat in Afghanistan, so I know the loss of having a close one going, but I didn't lose any of my buddies when I went. My buddy John did get blown up in a Humvee, didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
But they blew up his Humvee while he was in it.
If I'm not mistaken, I hope I'm not speaking out of turn. When the Afghanistan war was going on, we have a cousin who was the first Hispanic from California to die in combat.
It's too bad.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just remember that right now. I haven't thought of that in years.
Yep, my cousin Tommy died in 2009. He was a Phoenix cop.
Okay.
He was an EOD tech over there, and he got blown up.
Did you ever want to go into any sort of police work out here?
No.
No? You're already done? You're over it?
No, I have lots of cousins that are cops. My brother is a cop, or he was a retired cop. I wanted to go in the Army.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I ended up doing.
What got you into that?
Will and perseverance. I always, even when I was a little kid, I wanted to be in the Army.
But that's what I'm saying. What glorified that for you? Did you see a comic? Did you see a TV show? Did you see an ad? Did you?
Probably, I don't know if maybe the 60s and 70s movies.
Oh, okay.
John Wayne movie type stuff. It's like.
That was your influence.
Yeah, more than likely. So if you go look back at those, that era, they're definitely all pro-American, the good guy win type stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like going to war is not. It can be very dull. It's monotonous and long. When things.
A lot of sitting around.
There's a lot of sitting around, and then all of a sudden something happens, and you got to be on the ball. So you got to keep alert and everything. That's what wears people out.
Did you have family here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wasn't married, but so I had Maverick.
You did. Okay.
Yeah, and so.
Where was he at? With his mom?
Yeah, he had to stay with his mom. He wasn't too happy about that, and so that's what happened. So I got to come home for 2 weeks, 15 days, and he didn't leave my side for the whole 15 days.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So the most interesting to my mom and dad. So I did my my training in Fort Bliss,
okay,
which is in El Paso, and just before I went, my mom and dad brought him down to see me before I went from Fort Bliss to Iraq. So that was really nice of them.
Yeah, that's cool.
So that was nice.
How old was he?
Let's see.
Just a young kid.
Like 9.
Yeah, just a little boy.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't used to dad being gone.
So how did you deal with that mentally? Now you got to leave your boy behind.
Well, I knew he was in a safe place. I have a big family. He'd be taken care of.
Yeah.
You got a job to do. You got to go do it. Men have been leaving their household to go do work for thousands of years.
That's true.
It's like if you're a farmer, you have to,
You're a fucking man.
Yeah. You're a rancher, and you got to.
We're sitting in the room with a man right now.
Yeah.
So you have to go. You got to go do what you're doing. When you're going doing your job, you're taking care of your family anyway.
Yeah.
And it's like all those mans. I'm a truck driver, and I have to drive all the way to New York City. I don't get to be with my family for a couple days.
You got to pay bills.
You got to pay bills. He's doing what he has to do.
Yeah.
It's no different. So my occupation was soldier.
Right.
And so my country called, and it was time to pay the piper. So it was my turn to go. I went gleefully, and it's like, all right, well, I'll go do my job. You take the king's coin. You got to do the king's job.
I'm over here pretending like I know how to play chess. What am I doing with my life, bro? I got toys and knickknacks and...
Well, don't think I don't have toys and knickknacks.
No, he does.
I got an empty can of Spam up here. What?
Yeah, a picture of Snoop Dogg made of weed.
Oh, yeah. That's good stuff, man. So, okay, so you retired, and then now we get to get into the fun stuff. You do... What's that called?
So I do medieval sword fighting.
Medieval sword fighting. Did you do that too?
I trained for a bit, but I want to get under 300 pounds before I start actually going at it. I'm worried about my knees, and wearing armor on top of my weight and moving around with my knees probably isn't great.
Okay. So medieval sword fighting, but you're not putting on a show, like you're fighting this guy.
Right. It's like, yeah, it's a fight. It's none of this. It's not LARPing. It's not any of this.
It's not medieval times where
No.
Yeah.
No, you're actually striking of them, and they're striking back. It's a real fight.
Should we throw the clarification in now?
Oh, not yet. We'll get that one.
Hasn't been brought up.
It hasn't been brought up, but it's
How long have you been doing that?
since I was 19, so that's 37 years.
Dude. Okay. That's so awesome.
Yeah, and so it's fun. You know, it's
You've just been fighting in fucking armor since you were 19
yeah.
and then went to war.
Well, you know, it's not like I did it every day, but I have little breaks.
Don't ruin
and
it for
gaps.
me. In my head, you do it every day. You wake up with the Star Spangled Banner playing.
Yeah, and
It's
it's
the
like,
American Dad.
He's the
intro.
American. Yes.
and so it's fun. You know, I like to wrestle too and play sports, so it's the same. It's the same thing. I can tell people it's a lot of fun. It sure is a lot of stress relief. You know, you put your gear on, your buddy puts your gear on, you go out there. You know, you're wearing armor, so when you get hit, most of the time you're just like, yeah, that's good. You know, it doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
Every once in a while you get hit and it hurts, but not that bad. But yeah, it's really fun to just haul off and hit somebody.
But you're getting hit with real swords.
well,
Like they're not sharp, right?
well, this type of fighting, so there's several types. The fight I prefer is use a rattan or a plastic sword.
Oh, okay.
And so it doesn't hit quite as hard as a real sword, but it gives you the same effect.
And the weight is the same?
The weight is approximately the same.
Okay.
And so the fighting is fighting. And so when we fight, it's kind of an honor system. If you get hit, you just call out, and you know it's like, hey, you hit me, and I'm dead, and so you won. But it's fun.
Oh, so you do have to. There's some sort of imagination to it then.
A little bit.
I thought you just fought.
No, this is more of an honor system. It's like, so me and you are fighting. If you get hit in a lethal area, the guy that calls out, they got hit in the lethal area, and the fight's over.
Okay.
You know, and so
And if you get hit in the arm,
you don't get to use the arm anymore.
you got to lose your arm.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Things go bad really quickly from there, though.
And then the people fighting on their knees on the ground where they
Yeah.
get hit in the leg or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, Monty Python.
Yeah.
It's a flesh wound.
And so, but there's a whole set of rules. The safety record's pretty good because the armor is all set up so people don't get hurt. You know, the worst thing that can happen is, you know, you're fighting with your buddy and one of you get hurt, then you don't get to fight anymore.
Is that big out here?
Well, I would.
Like, how many people show up to these events?
Well, the big events, thousands.
Really?
Yes, I've been in battles that there's 800, 1,000 on a side.
I'd never even heard of this until about a week ago when he said that you were going to be on. I started Googling this stuff, and I thought it was LARPing. I thought people were just going fireball and like fairies and whatever. No.
No, people are going.
The pictures that I've seen, you look like you're fresh out of Game of Thrones.
Right.
It's nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, some of the guys that work.
And you're a big guy
Yeah.
already.
Yeah, the guys.
So now
that,
you got
look
what?
at that guy in Game of Thrones, like that.
You got what, 30 pounds, 40 pounds of armor?
Yeah, somewhere around probably 40, 50 pounds. You know.
Slinging that plus what's your weapon? Another 15?
No, weapons
it's
aren't
like
that heavy, about 3, 4 pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought those big ass swords were like.
Well, if they're too big, you can't wield them very effectively.
Yeah. Most people fight with like a sword and board. So
So
it's
the
basically
regular
like
one,
a cut down baseball bat.
What am I thinking of? Those big ass
Like a
swords.
500, yeah.
those are only about 7, 8 pounds.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought those were like 15
Yeah, if you're making
pounds.
15 pounds, you're gonna hit really hard. But if you're in a fight for 30 minutes, you're just gonna be dead. You can't swing that for
Well, how heavy was William Wallace's sword?
Probably 5 pounds.
Like
Really?
5 to 7, yeah.
This whole time I thought he was just a monster
No.
wheeling that 30-pound
I mean, if
sword
you're gonna
around.
have something be 30 pounds, you don't even need to put an edge on it. At that point,
No.
you've just got a
You
hammer.
got a big old hammer.
Yeah.
Okay.
People fight with hammers.
What can you fight with?
Just about any medieval weapon except for flails.
And that's a mace
Yeah, mace with a chain.
With the chain.
with the chain.
Yeah,
How
because
come? Choke you?
Danger.
Yeah.
The flailing action makes the ball hit too hard.
Got you. You can't control that.
You can't control it. The chain gets caught up. People just get too many injuries.
Got you.
If your buddy gets hurt, you don't get to fight anymore.
Yeah.
So there's safety rules built into it that make it reasonably safe.
Okay.
And so there's
Now, is it a point system? Or do you have to kill the guy?
you have to give him a lethal blow.
Okay.
And he kind of judges that himself because one of the things when you're teaching them to fight, you're teaching them how to take shots. That's what we call it. And it's a skill just like anything else. So as you get better at fighting, you get better at knowing, that shot was good enough. A guy like me teaches you how to do it. It's like, yep, that's no good. Yep, this is good. And then you explain why and all that good stuff. And they learn and they go.
Are there judges or referees or?
There's a referee. We call it a marshal, and he sits there and watches it. And you can ask him questions if you're not sure. It's like, it's an imperfect sport, but it's more because you're on the honor system and the people are trying their best. But so there's there mistakes made. Yeah.
Seems like a good way to blow off steam, though.
Oh, it's an excellent way to blow off steam.
Yeah.
One of my buddies came to practice the other day, a little irritated. Afterwards, he was like, I feel so much better now.
Lose like 9 pounds in sweat.
You're sweating, you're fighting out there, and about the closest you can get is like activity-wise if you went out and wrestled with somebody.
Okay.
It takes that much juice out of you.
Where are you getting this armor?
Well, you'll be surprised. You can make a lot of it yourself, but you can buy it all. There's armors all over the place.
I've seen people run around with leg pieces made of like 5-gallon buckets.
Yeah.
They've just cut it out. And
That'd
shaped
be
it around
me.
their leg. Yeah.
All right. I just have fucking monster cans tied around
You're
me.
just the Michelin man. Like,
Yeah.
So what happens is, when you first start out, you don't have the best looking gear. Normally it's the cheaper kind of stuff. People put it together. It's effective, but and as you get into it, you get better looking gear. You decide what you like and what you don't like, and so when you come to our fighter practice and you're a new guy, well, we have a whole barn full of old equipment, we'll fit you out and let you go experience it.
there is an armory.
Yeah, and then what I tell them is like, don't buy anything until you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You use the loaner stuff, and then once you know what you're doing.
You know that you like doing it and will continue to do it.
Yeah.
Don't waste your money on it.
Right. We don't want you wasting your money. People don't have money to waste. And then we'll direct you to the right people. You tell us what you like. Like, well, Benny over there, he makes that pretty good. He has good prices. Go talk to him. And then you build your kit up from that.
Okay.
And then you like when you build your kit up, then you just give us back that piece of armor that you're borrowing, and we put it back on the shelf for the next guy.
How often are you doing this?
Sometimes they come in waves, and sometimes not for a while. It's like I'd probably. It's hard to say. Like I said, it's been in waves, but it's hard to really tell through the COVID because people were even afraid to come out of their house. So.
Oh.
But.
Well, when it wasn't, then was it like a once a month type thing, 2 times a month?
Oh, new people. We practice twice a week.
You practice twice a week,
Right, and so when we get new people, it's just kind of random.
Okay.
But we have standard practice dates. We practice out there on Monday and Thursdays.
I think you were saying out there you're a coach.
Right.
You're a trainer.
Yeah, I train most of them.
And there's multiple different groups, at least in the greater Phoenix area in Buckeye. I think there's one that's just out here, right?
Well, basically, yeah. In Phoenix, you have like 3 different main areas. You have the east side, the west side, and the central.
Well, I know you were saying, so now let's just get it out there for people that are interested. You said that you are not a member.
Oh, so we're talking about the Society of Creative Actors. What I'm not is
The SCA.
I'm not a spokesman for them.
A spokesman.
I'm just a participant.
Okay.
Member participant. So I can't really speak for the corporation.
Right.
I can just only speak for
for what you do in it.
Right.
Got you.
And so, and then the practices we have are not actually even sanctioned practice of the SCA. There are practices. All the people might be in SCA or the Live Steel group, but so.
Is it usually just word of mouth of how people getting in there, or do?
I would say so.
Because like I said, I've never heard of this.
Well, somebody will see it and they'll tell their friend, and it's not very
Hey,
well.
you should come check this out. We get to beat the shit out of each other and wear metal.
Well, I mean, we've gotten LARPers. We got people that came over from LARPing. A lot of times we'll have college groups, and you'll get a lot of people that saw it in college, and they had an SCA group on the campus. You got a lot of people that way. It could be like my mom saw the SCA fighting, and she come to me one day and goes, "Hey, I got you try this out." It's like, "What are you talking about, Mom?" "Well, it looks like football crossed with that D&D thing you kids do." And it's like, "Really?" And so me and my buddies went and checked it out, and it was like, Mom was right. It looked like football crossed with D&D. And so me and my buddies were like, we're right in it.
Oh, you're into that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so
yeah, he got me into D&D.
Yep.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Like, but sword fighting is just like cross between football and D&D.
Yeah.
It's like, and so she was right. She's a smart woman. She goes, "You'll like this." I did, and been doing it ever since. But so that's how people normally see it. They'll see it in college. They'll have a friend that sees it. They'll walk by and say, "Hey, that," because we do a lot of events at parks, so people will see it and be interested.
Yeah, parks, neighborhood, like greenbelt areas as well sometimes.
Do you ever have people go in kind of trying to be an ass about it and make fun of it and then just get rocked, get their ass kicked, and then learn a little respect for the sport? Is it a sport or is it a hobby?
Well, the fighting piece is the SCA is multidimensional, so the fighting is only one piece of it. So I would call that a sport.
Okay.
But then there's many more aspects of the SCA than just the sword fighting. So if I'm the blacksmith making armor, I'd say that was your hobby.
Okay.
And it's like so there's lots of aspects of the SCA.
But now people are coming to you. You're paying this guy to make you some armor, right?
Right.
So now he's making little funds on the side.
I personally know plenty of guys that are armor makers, and that's their full-time business, full-time job, and make a decent living at it.
At these big tournaments or these big events, is there prize money? Is there,
Can
or
be.
is it just bragging rights?
Can be both.
Okay.
Yeah, I've entered many tournaments that had prizes.
Where are you in the ranking system?
Um,
Level 14 dungeon wizard?
well, if I'm a fighter, I wouldn't be a wizard. So they have we have a ranking system, and it's not a very complicated ranking system, and so you're a fighter, and then so what you want when you're learning, I think the most fighters' goals are to become a knight.
A knight.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we'll say that's where everybody's goal is, to become a knight. So everybody starts out their base fighter, and a lot of them become squires to a knight, and the knight will be training them how to fight.
Okay.
So maybe the best equivalent is a knight is like a black belt in whatever martial arts you want to talk about.
Okay.
Except you actually get a white belt.
Yeah, and you get a white belt instead of black.
All right.
Okay. So that gives you good reference. Like, all right, so they have to work that much up to be a knight. And become a knight, the head guy of your organization knights you, or he decides that, okay, just kind of like in the karate or whatever else, they decide, all right, you're a black belt now.
Full ceremony.
Full ceremony, the whole 9 yards, you get knighted. It's a big deal for that guy, because normally they have to spend many years.
I was just going to ask, how long does that take?
Yeah, I've known people it's taken 20 years. I've known people that taken 2.
Because in martial arts, you rank with your experience.
Right.
How does that work? How do you get good at swinging a sword?
Practice.
You got to beat the top. Is there a top guy that you got to beat?
No, normally. So
I think it's just when people, the collective knights, just go, "Hey, he's good enough."
Okay.
So basically, that's what it is. So what they call is making a peer. So a peer is they're your equal.
Okay.
So you start fighting and fighting, and now you can go 50-50 with the knights. So when you go 50-50 with somebody, that means you're their peer, right?
Yeah.
And then the old knights go, yeah, he's just as good as I am. All right, I'm going to vote for him to be a knight.
Okay.
You know, it's like you don't have to beat them. You just got to be equal to them.
So I was asking, is it always a one-on-one fight, or do you ever go like teams?
Oh, we definitely do the teams. So you have one-on-ones, you can have small teams, and then you can have large battles. You know, so the biggest one I've been in was like 800 on the side. Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. And is that
How do you even know who you're
is it
fighting
the
at that
Australia
point?
War? Was that?
Well, normally everybody has you have tabards and stuff, but the easiest thing we do, because everybody has their own tabards, is you put a little colored piece of tape on your helmet.
Tabard is that eagle thing that he was basically the color for
The
dress. Honestly.
Surcoat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so the easiest thing we do is put a piece of colored tape on your helmet.
Do we need a Sonder Experience fucking dress like that?
Maybe.
We do.
Maybe. Yeah.
And we're just going to fight each other wrapped in tinfoil.
Might hurt a little.
Yeah. Might be like two whales hitting each other.
So you're still doing it?
I still do it. I train people every week how to fight. And
You have a few squires now. How many are you up to?
oh, three. I got three.
Just
good.
three?
Yep,
I
three.
thought you were like 4 or 5.
Well, I have 3, but I train a lot of people.
Where are you teaching them out of? Or
We have a spot in North Phoenix.
oh, okay.
Got a friend that has a horse property, so it was like an acre lot of grass.
Yep.
And we have lights and a mister, and it's nice.
Yeah, he's got a Pell in his backyard, and when I was learning, and when I will be learning again, I would just go into his backyard. Pell's that wood. It's basically a wooden post. You ever see in kung fu movies where they're
Oh, yeah.
It's like that, but without all the weird arms. It's just a stick, and I'm hitting it with this.
When do you do it? You said twice a week?
Yep.
How come we haven't gone?
We can go.
I want to go.
You can
All
go
right.
anytime you want to.
I'll take you.
I want to go just to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might like it. It's fun.
Yeah.
So
You probably don't have guys my size running around there.
we do.
Really?
We have this. We had a guy that just came back named Bumblebee. You could be his brother. He looked just like him.
That's cool.
You know, and it's like,
It'd be a good way to get some exercise.
yep.
I don't know. Can you see out of those things?
Of course you can see. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you
I
have
feel
to
like
be-
you can't
have to be-
see. It's like a slit.
I mean, you can see less, but
So it matters what type of helmet
He
you
said,
get.
of course.
I mean, like, who's gonna put on?
I
the
know,
thing?
but like you have to understand I've never done this, right?
Well, you got to see. So don't get that's jousting armor. You know, we're not jousting, so we only have a little slit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a helmet that has almost like a maybe the easiest way to describe it is like a football mask on it,
Oh, okay.
but made out of steel. And
Yeah,
so
the slits are to prevent any like stray splinters from just hitting your face from jousting with the lance breaks.
right, that's how they got killed.
Yeah.
So we use our rattan swords, and what we do so you don't get splinters is you tape them up, and so when they start splintering, the tape keeps them.
Oh, I see.
So you don't want to get injuries.
Yeah, and if,
Or
I mean,
you use
people
a plastic sword to do the same thing, so those splinters go out slinging out.
Okay.
and people generally aren't going to swing at your face as well because
No, they swing at your face.
I was
they'll
gonna.
swing at like your head, but
No.
really,
The easiest place is to smash somebody in the face.
Yeah.
never mind then.
I was gonna ask. Do you can you build enemies there? People that go a little too hard.
Well, there's always people that don't like you. There's just as many people like you. There's a few always that don't like you, and there's always. It doesn't matter what you do in life. There's always a few buffoons that try to ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and so
I feel like the whole thing would have to be built around respect, and because that's what everybody's getting together for is to share an interest.
and so the guy that are the trainers like me, so we try to instill the right attitude in everybody, you know, and it's like, and so that's one of my tasks is when I'm training you how to fight to make sure you're not a buffoon, you know, guide you with the right attitude towards things.
If we're doing medieval training for dummies, what kind of stuff are you trying to teach them?
Well,
Footwork.
sword work, defensive work, you know. Some people, you have to teach them a proper aggressive attitude, you know.
Like me.
Yep. Most of the people, you won't be surprised.
Like they're not mean enough
Well,
or aggressive enough.
I'm just scared to hit people because I've been taught my whole life just don't hit people. So
That-
even when he suits me up he suited me up, and I didn't have the armor, but I had the sword and board, and he told me to go and just hit this guy, and I really couldn't do it.
But you can hit.
I didn't want to.
You've hit me.
Yeah, that's true.
but the big thing is people are taught not to hit each other, right? And so
From youngins.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so you have to break down that barrier. It's like, okay, in this situation, it's okay to hit them. And it's not uncommon to have to work, especially women, to have to work with because they're so conditioned not to hit. But if you play like a sport like me and I played football, well, you're hitting people all the time. So
Yeah.
But if you didn't play a sport where you were hitting something, when society said don't hit, it takes your brain a little while to adjust.
Oh yeah, man. I was on the line, offense and defense. You get hit every play.
Well, and I had some friends that were just big, giant, muscular guys, and they weren't afraid to hit. They were just afraid to hurt the other guy.
Oh, okay.
And it's like that's what they got all the gear on for. And so it takes a little while for you to mentally adjust to it. And
They
once
got
you
that
do,
Ferdinand the Bull type situation.
right? And then once you do, then it's okay. And it's like, but not everybody can just go walk out there. That's part of the coaching, just like anything else. You got to coach them through it. And once they get it, and they're no problem.
Dude, I'd do this. I'll check it out at least. I'll check that out for sure.
Happy to go with you. I keep trying to get Braden to go.
Are there a lot of women doing it?
I have three regulars at practice.
More than you'd think.
It'd have to be because I'd think none.
Yeah. I went and I was surprised. And not everyone who goes to practices fights.
No.
I mean, the practices I've been to, there's usually like a band kind of practicing in the background as well.
Yeah. And so, we have
A what?
A band, like with woodwind instruments and stuff.
well, that's when he goes to a baronial practice. So that's like a chapter practice, official practice.
Damn, this is a whole thing.
Yeah, there's people who are involved in the SCA who are just in it for the court life.
Yeah.
And they're not even there to fight. They just want to
Be a part of it.
They like the medieval thing. They're playing their instruments. They're costumers. They're pottery makers. They're whatever medieval, a little craft. There's lots of little medieval crafts that people do.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the only one I really ever did was make armor because it was like I needed to always fix my armor. So I was like, I learned how to do it. So leatherworking, metalworking. I have jewelers.
Do you think you're into this sport because of like the fantasy aspect or because it is history?
The competition.
Oh, you just want to fight.
I like fighting. Yeah.
So why not get into something like boxing?
Boxing hurts your face even if you win.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's cool. Okay.
And so I've done it so long and it's fun. That's what I've done.
Are you known in the community?
I'm known all the way around the country. Yeah.
Like 007.
I wouldn't go that way. Yeah.
Well, you wouldn't. See, you
But,
don't want me to know.
But I'm pretty well known. So
Yeah.
when you do something for a long time, though,
Yeah, I mean,
and you're
Yeah,
good
yeah.
at
you
it,
better be doing it for 30 plus years, right?
and so when you're doing it for a long time and you're good at it, you get known,
Yeah.
especially in that group.
Do they have like Facebook pages or Instagram or
Well, they have all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
we'll put that up too.
They have all that stuff. So I'm not a big social media fan myself. So
No.
I use my wife's account when I want to look at stuff. But I don't like all the negativity of the social media.
Is
stuff.
she's a part of that too, right?
Yep, she's a grudging member because she does it because I do it.
Yeah. But she dresses up?
Grudgingly.
What does she dress up as?
She has medieval dresses.
Oh, okay.
She looks good in them.
They serve alcohol at these things?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it matters what the kind of whatever the site's at. Where you have an event. If you have an event that you can serve alcohol, then alcohol's there. You can only serve it to people that are of age also. But if you're what's called a dry site, no alcohol, then no alcohol.
Oh, okay.
And so, but most of the sites are it behooves you to get a site where you can have alcohol because people like to party.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
But then are people getting sloppy while they're fighting?
you don't drink and fight at the same time.
Okay.
It's like wrestling, and you're exerting yourself like you're doing wrestling, and so you're not going to wrestle and drink at the same time either, unless you like to get sick.
See, I'm in a mindset of like not taking it seriously.
So the drinking part. So we go fighting during the day, right? When you go to an event, then the partying.
Then
at
the
night.
drinking come out. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So the younger men, they're the drinking, the women chasing, and all that good stuff happens at night, or if they're the girls, the men chasing.
Yeah, let's be a part of that.
That
Let's go to that one.
Luckily now I'm married and I don't have to do the women chasing.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's like because you get old now. It's like I'm not going very far.
No,
Not much chasing this dog.
yeah.
Good thing I'm married.
I'll walk briskly.
Good things come to those who wait.
Yeah.
But when you're a young man like Blake, when I was, it was fun. I'd go fighting all day and chasing women at night, and it was like it was fun. So
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on and speaking this with us.
no problem.
This is fun. I can't wait to go. When's the next one?
Well, I have practice every Monday and Thursday.
Okay, Thursday. Not this week. Next week, let's run.
Okay.
Yeah?
Assuming I don't have, scheduling changes with my job.
Oh, you got hired somewhere?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah. That's basically what it is. Is my contracting company that they said, well, we got you this job. And I went, cool. When does it start? That was on Wednesday. And they just didn't say anything. So I'm like, maybe.
We're hoping, man.
Yeah.
We're hoping.
Thank you for being here.
No, this is good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys do stuff like this.
How many people do you train at a time? I guess I'm asking is if we were to put this out, are you looking for anybody to?
Anybody can come.
Okay.
So I learned how to train also in the Army. So I can train 5 people, or I can train 100 people.
Can we put some sort of contact information and people can reach out if they're interested?
I'm sure you can put my
Facebook
phone number,
or
you can put my phone number down if they can text me if they are.
okay.
Text me, or maybe I should give them my email address even better.
Yeah, email will probably be better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they can email me if they're interested, and I can show them how to.
We'll
get
put that in
Put
the.
that in the description of the video.
All right. Well, cool, Mark. Appreciate you, man.
No problem.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here.
Oh.
Oh, yeah.